Let's be honest. You've been grinding for years, haven't you? You've worked long hours. You've sacrificed sleep. You've watched videos, read books, listened to podcasts, all telling you how to get rich. And yet, nothing's changing. You're still one paycheck away from panic. You're still fighting the same financial storms that your parents did. And deep down, you're starting to wonder, is something wrong with me? This audiobook is going to give you the truth no one else dares to tell you. The raw, uncomfortable, but liberating truth about why you're still not rich. Because the problem isn't the economy. It's not your job. It's not your lack of luck or followers. It's your mindset. It's the way you think, act, and react when money enters the picture. And if you don't face that truth now, you'll spend your entire life chasing financial freedom without ever catching it. Welcome to Why You're Still Not Rich, the harsh truth about being broke, and the roadmap to break free. Friend, you are definitely on the right track if you are watching this video. Like, subscribe, and write in the comments which topic or problem concerns you the most. We promise to prepare a professional video explanation at your request. Chapter 1. Broke isn't just about money. You think being broke means not having enough cash. But real poverty starts in your thinking. You can be broke with a six-figure income. You can be broke driving a luxury car. You can be broke in a mansion if your mind is still living in scarcity. Broke people think about spending. Rich people think about multiplying. Broke people chase money to feel safe. Rich people build systems to create freedom. The difference isn't in the digits, it's in the discipline. You've been taught to work harder, not smarter. To trade time for money instead of trading ideas for leverage. To look rich instead of becoming wealthy. And that's why you're still broke. The world rewards those who think differently. But if your thoughts are built on fear, fear of losing, fear of failing, fear of judgment, you'll keep running in circles no matter how fast you go. Let this sink in. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your thinking. So the question isn't, how do I make more money? It's, why do I think like I don't deserve it? That's where the real work begins. Write in the comments the topic or issue you would like to hear about in the next video. Chapter 2. Your habits keep you broke. You want wealth, but your habits belong to the poor. You scroll when you should be learning. You complain when you should be creating. You spend to feel better instead of investing to get better. You say, I'll start saving when I make more. But here's the truth. If you can't manage $100, you'll destroy $10,000. Money doesn't make you disciplined. Discipline makes you money. The rich treat every dollar like an employee. They give it a job. They expect it to grow, and they fire it from wasteful work. The poor treat every dollar like entertainment. They let it wander, and then wonder why it never comes back. If your money habits are emotional, your results will always be temporary. The rich use emotion to fuel discipline. The poor use emotion to justify escape. You can't outwork bad habits. You have to outgrow them. The poor spend money to look rich. The rich spend money to stay free. Ask yourself right now, what are your dollars doing while you sleep? Are they multiplying, or are they dying in debt, subscriptions, and empty purchases? Because your habits are either hiring wealth or firing it. Chapter 3. The Fear of Responsibility. Here's a truth most people can't handle. You're not broke because you lack opportunity. You're broke because you're afraid of ownership. You want the rewards of wealth without the responsibility that comes with it. You say you want freedom, but freedom means being accountable for your choices, and most people aren't ready for that. The poor say, "It's not my fault." The rich say, "It's my responsibility." The poor blame the boss. The rich become the boss. The poor look for safety. The rich look for a strategy. Every time you pass responsibility to someone else, your job, your government, your parents, you pass them your power, and that's why you stay broke. Because wealth requires control, not just over money, but over yourself. You can't lead a business if you can't lead your emotions. You can't build assets if you can't manage attention. You can't handle profits if you can't handle pressure. This is the harsh truth. If you're scared of risk, you're scared of wealth. The price of freedom is ownership. The cost of comfort is control. You can't have both. You either pay the price to grow, or you keep paying the price to stay stuck. Chapter 4. Broken Beliefs. Let's go deeper. Because most people's financial pain doesn't come from their income. It comes from their identity. You were raised to believe certain things about money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. Success is luck. Be grateful for what you have. And while those phrases sound harmless, they've built invisible chains around your potential. They taught you that wanting more makes you selfish, that ambition is arrogance, that comfort is enough. But comfort is the cage that kills greatness. The rich didn't grow up with different DNA. They just refused to believe the same limitations. They were told, "You can't," and they answered, "Watch me." The poor repeat what they're told. The rich rewrite what they're taught. You don't need more motivation. You need reprogramming. Your financial ceiling is set by your mental conditioning. So if you were raised around fear, you'll treat money like a threat. If you were raised around scarcity, you'll treat abundance like danger. The first step to wealth isn't earning more, it's unlearning lies. You've been fighting your own mind for years, trying to fix a financial problem with an emotional wound. But if you keep patching symptoms instead of healing roots, you'll keep repeating the same cycle. Earn, spend, stress, repeat. It's time to stop that loop. It's time to see what's really keeping you trapped, because in the next chapter, we're going to expose the emotional addiction to being broke, why you secretly cling to struggle even when you say you want success. This is where everything changes. Chapter 5. The Addiction to Struggle. Here's something most people never want to admit. You've become addicted to the struggle. You've worn pain like a badge of honor. You've convinced yourself that suffering means you're trying. That struggle equals progress. But that's not discipline. That's self-sabotage. You've built an identity around being the underdog, the one who's fighting to survive, the one who always has it harder than everyone else. And because of that, you've started to romanticize the grind. You post your late nights, you brag about hustling, but deep down, you're terrified of what happens when you finally win, because then you'd have nothing left to complain about. See, your subconscious isn't afraid of failure, it's afraid of change. It's afraid of responsibility. Being broke gives you an excuse to avoid risk. It gives you something to blame. It gives you an identity, the struggler, the fighter, the victim, and that identity feels safe, doesn't it? But safe is exactly what's keeping you small. You don't realize it, but comfort has become your cage. You tell yourself, when I make more, I'll save more. When I have more time, I'll start that business. But that day never comes because the struggle has become your home. You can't become successful while being loyal to your old identity. You must let go of who you were to make space for who you can be. Stop glorifying struggle. Start demanding results. Because success isn't about how much pain you can endure. It's about how much change you can create. Like and subscribe if you want to receive a huge fortune this year. Chapter 6, The Cost of Excuses. Let's talk about the currency that kills more dreams than debt ever could. Excuses. I don't have time. I'm not ready yet. I don't have the right connections. Sound familiar? These are the invisible handcuffs that keep you broke. Every excuse is a tiny theft, a robbery of your future by your present comfort. You think you're protecting yourself from failure, but really you're postponing your freedom. The poor protect excuses. The rich protect execution. Excuses are easy because they cost nothing up front, but they cost everything in the long run. Every I can't becomes an I wish I had. You can't outsmart excuses. You can only outwork them. You don't need more motivation. You need more accountability. The rich don't rely on feeling ready. They rely on systems. They build habits that execute even when emotions collapse. They understand that consistency beats confidence. The poor wait to feel inspired. The rich take action until inspiration appears. So the question isn't, what's stopping you? It's, what lie are you protecting to stay the same? Because every excuse you defend is a wall you build between you and your potential. Chapter 7. The truth about your environment. You cannot outgrow the people you refuse to outdistance. You want to change your income, but you're still surrounded by people who complain about opportunity. You want to build wealth, but you still hang out with people who hate on those who have it. You say you want more, but you spend your nights listening to people who gave up years ago. The truth? Your circle is your ceiling. If you're surrounded by people who normalize mediocrity, your brain will start defending it as comfort. The poor protect familiarity. The rich protect growth. Look at your 5 closest friends. Are they growing or are they gossiping? Are they pushing you or pacifying you? Because your environment isn't neutral. It's either watering your potential or starving it. You can't grow fruit in poisoned soil. You must start pruning your circle, not with hatred, with clarity. You can love people from a distance and still choose to surround yourself with those who demand more from you. Remember this: comfortable people make you feel safe. Disciplined people make you feel uncomfortable. And that's how you grow. You need conversations that challenge your excuses, not confirm them. Because the fastest way to change your income is to change your influence. Chapter 8. The Luxury Trap. Let's talk about one of the most dangerous illusions of modern success. Looking rich before becoming rich. It's everywhere. The designer clothes, the latest iPhone, the luxury vacations. You scroll through social media and start believing wealth is about appearance. But here's the truth. If you have to show it off, you don't own it. It owns you. Real wealth is silent. Fake wealth screams for attention. You buy things to impress people who aren't even paying attention. You chase likes instead of legacy. You drown in credit cards to feel relevant for a moment. And every time you do that, you trade your future freedom for temporary validation. The rich don't chase luxury. They create leverage. They know that luxury is a byproduct of discipline, not a substitute for it. Luxury without leverage is just debt with decoration. You can't build wealth while feeding your ego. The two cannot coexist. If you truly want to be rich, stop trying to look rich. Let your investments flex for you. Let your results speak for you. Let your discipline become your status symbol. Because real wealth doesn't need applause. It only needs peace. Chapter 9. Time Poverty. You think you're broke because you don't have enough money. But the real poverty most people live in is time poverty. You've traded all your hours for dollars, and now you can't buy back a single one. The poor rent time. The rich own it. The poor fill their calendars with activity. The rich fill their calendars with impact. You'll never get rich working harder on your job than on yourself. That's the truth no one wants to hear. You keep saying, I don't have time to build my dreams. But that's because your schedule is full of distractions, not directions. Time is your most valuable currency, and you're spending it on things that don't multiply. If you don't control your time, someone else will buy it from you. The rich buy back time. They hire help. They automate systems. They focus on the few things that make the biggest difference. The poor keep doing everything themselves because they confuse busyness with progress. You're not too busy to be rich. You're just too distracted to be focused. In the next part, we'll expose the mental habits that quietly drain your wealth every single day. The hidden fears, emotional spending, and false beliefs about work and worth that keep you from stepping into abundance. This is where the rebuild begins. Chapter 10. The Invisible Ceiling. There's a ceiling above your head that you can't see, and it's not made of glass. It's made of belief. No matter how hard you grind, no matter how many side hustles you chase, you will never rise higher than the limits of your own thinking. If deep down you believe you're not meant to be rich, you'll always find ways to prove it true. If you believe money corrupts, you'll subconsciously repel opportunities that would give it to you. Your mind will sabotage your potential to stay loyal to your beliefs. Your life will never rise higher than your standards. You think it's bad luck, bad timing, bad breaks, but really, it's bad programming. You were raised in environments where mediocrity was normal, where playing it safe was praised, where ambition was mocked. And now, even as an adult, every time you try to level up, you hit that invisible ceiling of conditioning. You feel it when you hesitate to invest in yourself. You feel it when you second-guess your ideas. You feel it when you downplay your dreams because others might not understand. That's not humility. That's fear wearing a polite disguise. The truth? You were never afraid of failure. You were afraid of success. Because success would separate you. It would make you different. It would make people uncomfortable. So you stay small to stay accepted. But every time you choose comfort over courage, you reinforce the same ceiling you claim you want to break. It's not money that keeps you trapped. It's the story you tell yourself about what you're worth. Your wealth begins the moment you stop apologizing for wanting more. Chapter 11. The Weight of Opinions. Let's talk about another trap keeping you broke. The need for approval. You care too much about what people think, and the people whose opinions you value aren't even where you want to be. You let small minds talk you out of big dreams. Your family says, don't take risks. Your friends say, that'll never work. Society says, stay realistic. And little by little, you trade ambition for acceptance. You trade vision for validation. Here's the harsh truth. The opinions of broke people keep more people broke than the economy ever could. You listen to advice from people who've never achieved what you want. You seek reassurance from people who are terrified of change. You let the judgment of others become the jail for your own potential. But the rich think differently. They don't ask for permission to grow. They don't wait for applause to execute. They know that in the early stages, you'll be misunderstood, mocked, even hated. And that's okay, because comfort seeks company. Growth walks alone. If they don't pay your bills, don't let them shape your beliefs. You're not here to please, you're here to build. The rich understand that every opinion is a reflection, not of you, but of the other person's limitations. You can't climb mountains carrying other people's insecurities. Let them talk. You keep moving. The view is different at the top. Chapter 12, The Reality of Sacrifice. Everyone says they want to be rich until they see what it costs, because wealth demands sacrifice, not just money, but comfort, time, ego, and relationships. You can't have freedom without focus, and you can't have focus without saying no to distractions disguised as pleasure. The poor crave balance. The rich create seasons of imbalance to build something worth balancing later. While others rest, they prepare. While others play, they plan. While others spend, they invest. And that's why the gap keeps growing. The rich don't work harder, they work longer on what matters most. They understand that sacrifice isn't loss, it's leverage. Every hour they give up to learn, every dollar they save to reinvest, every opportunity they decline to protect focus. Those are bricks in their financial foundation. The broke see sacrifice as suffering. The rich see it as strategy. You say you want success, but do you want it enough to stop chasing every comfort that kills your momentum? You can't binge your way to breakthroughs. You can't complain your way to clarity. You can't half commit your way to freedom. The world doesn't reward almost. If you're not willing to sacrifice for your goals, you'll end up sacrificing your goals instead. Chapter 13. Debt, the silent killer. Debt is the tax you pay for impatience. It's how the system keeps you working just enough to survive, but never free enough to think. You buy things to feel better. You swipe cards to feel successful. And for a few hours, you do. But then the bill arrives, and suddenly, you're not the owner of your lifestyle, you're the employee of it. The poor buy liabilities that lose value. The rich buy assets that pay for their lifestyle. Debt, when used blindly, is the leash that keeps you chasing false freedom. You think you're building status. You're building slavery. The system was designed for this. It doesn't need chains anymore. It just needs credit limits. You don't own your possessions until they stop owning you. The rich don't fear debt. They master it. They use it as leverage, not luxury. They borrow to buy assets, not appearances. They know that the difference between smart debt and stupid debt is the same as the difference between being rich and looking rich. If you want freedom, you must understand this. Debt is not evil, but dependency is. Every time you choose instant gratification, you sell a piece of your future. The rich delay pleasure to buy peace. The poor trade peace for pleasure. And that's why the cycle repeats. Chapter 14. The energy of money. Here's something most people never learn. Money is energy. It flows to those who respect it and flees from those who abuse it. If you constantly complain about lack, you push it away. If you constantly say, money doesn't matter, it listens and stays away. The poor repel money through resentment. The rich attract it through responsibility. Money wants direction. It wants clarity. It wants a purpose. If you treat it like a guest, it stays. If you treat it like a servant, it multiplies. If you treat it like an enemy, it leaves. Money amplifies who you already are, not who you wish to be. That's why the broke who suddenly get rich often lose it all, because they never fixed the relationship between their emotions and their income. They thought wealth was about earning more. It's about becoming more. The rich don't chase money. They chase mastery, and money follows. So the next time you say, "I just need more money," stop and ask, "Am I someone who can handle it?" Because money doesn't make you free. It reveals whether you already are. Like and subscribe if you want to receive a huge fortune this year. In the next section, we'll uncover the ultimate shift, how the rich think about time, value, and leverage differently than everyone else. You'll learn why your 24 hours aren't equal to theirs, and how to reclaim your time from the invisible traps keeping you broke. This next chapter changes everything. Chapter 15, The Value of Time. The poor trade time for money. The rich trade money for time. That single sentence separates the two worlds more than any paycheck ever could. You've been taught that the harder you work, the richer you'll become. But the truth is, the harder you work without leverage, the deeper you dig into the trap. You're still operating on a system designed to exhaust you. You trade hours for income. You trade energy for approval. And at the end of the month, you're left with a few dollars and no time left to dream. That's not freedom. That's glorified slavery. Rich people don't worship work. They worship results. They ask, how can this hour multiply itself? They understand that time is the only currency that never inflates. Once spent, it's gone forever. So they use it with ruthless precision. They delegate. They automate. They eliminate. They say no to everything that doesn't compound value. They say yes only to what builds freedom. Meanwhile, the poor stay busy being busy. Meetings that don't matter, tasks that don't compound, habits that don't move them forward. Being busy is not the same as being productive. You want to be rich? Audit your time like the rich audit their money. Where do your minutes go? Because every minute wasted is a dollar unpaid. The truth is, you don't need more hours in a day. You just need to stop wasting the ones you have. When you begin treating your time like it's sacred, your life begins to multiply like it's magic. Chapter 16, The Power of Leverage. There's a reason the rich get richer. They understand leverage. Leverage means doing less and achieving more. It's the art of multiplying effort without multiplying exhaustion. The poor think in terms of hours. The rich think in terms of systems. While you're trying to earn more by working more, they're earning more by building machines that work for them. Machines of automation, machines of investment, machines of people and process. The rich build systems. The poor look for jobs. And that's the fundamental shift. A job can make you comfortable, but a system makes you free. Every empire you admire, and from Amazon to Apple, is built on one core principle: leverage. They use other people's time, skills, and resources to multiply impact. They work on the business, not in it. And that's exactly what you must do if you want to escape the trap. Build systems that run when you rest. Invest in assets that pay you while you sleep. Learn skills that multiply themselves across time. Because if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll spend your life being tired while you work. Leverage is freedom disguised as efficiency. The poor are addicted to doing. The rich are addicted to designing. If you want to escape average, you have to stop managing effort and start mastering multiplication. Chapter 17. The Truth About Value. You don't get paid for time. You get paid for value. But most people never understand this, so they keep working harder without ever earning more. Here's the truth. If you want to earn more, you have to become more. You don't increase income by asking for a raise. You increase it by raising your worth. Not your self-worth, your market worth. The rich don't sell effort. They sell outcomes. They don't talk about hours. They talk about impact. That's why a billionaire can make millions in a minute. Not because they're lucky, but because the value they provide scales beyond time. You can't build wealth selling what's replaceable, and most people sell exactly that. Replaceable labor, replaceable skills, replaceable mindsets. The rich position themselves as irreplaceable. They learn rare skills. They solve rare problems. They make themselves so valuable that opportunity chases them. If you want to earn like the rich, stop doing what everyone else can do. So instead of chasing paychecks, chase proficiency. Instead of chasing comfort, chase competence. Instead of chasing approval, chase advantage. Because wealth is not about luck. It's about leverage through value. You can't demand financial respect from a world you refuse to serve with excellence. Chapter 18. The Psychology of Risk. Poor people fear risk. Rich people study it. They don't gamble. They calculate. They don't guess. They gather data. They don't fear failure. They forecast it. The poor see risk as danger. The rich see risk as opportunity in disguise. Because risk is where the rewards hide. Risk is where freedom begins. The higher the risk, the higher the requirement for preparation. The rich don't take blind leaps of faith. They take educated jumps of courage. You're still broke because you play life like it's safe. You stay in the job that drains you. You keep money in the bank instead of learning to invest. You say someday when you mean never. And all of it is wrapped in one illusion, the illusion of safety. But here's the harsh truth. You're not safe staying still. You're just slowly sinking. Inflation eats your savings. Time eats your opportunity. Comfort eats your ambition. So tell me, which is riskier, failing forward or dying stuck? The rich know that fear is not a signal to stop. It's a signal to study, prepare, and proceed with precision. The poor wait for perfect timing. The rich make imperfect moves with consistent strategy. If you're not taking calculated risks, you're already losing by default. Chapter 19. The Luxury of Patience. You want it fast. The rich want it forever. That's the difference. The poor chase quick wins, fast money, viral fame, instant validation. The rich chase compound growth. Quiet, slow, relentless progress that nobody notices until it's undeniable. You think patience is weakness, but patience is the weapon of the wealthy. Because patience allows for strategy. It allows for mastery. It allows for time to work in your favor instead of against you. The poor wait for opportunity. The rich prepare for it. You want to be rich? Learn to play the long game. Stop quitting when progress is invisible. Stop switching paths every time something feels hard. Stop mistaking speed for success. A tree doesn't grow by changing soil every week. It grows because it stays grounded. The rich understand this. They compound effort, not excitement. They build momentum, not moments. Every small, consistent action is a silent investment in their future. Every delay of gratification is a deposit into freedom. You can't be impatient and independent. The two will never coexist. So slow down, not to be lazy, but to build something that lasts. In the next section, we'll talk about environment, energy, and influence. You'll discover why who you surround yourself with can make or break your financial destiny, and how to design an environment that forces growth even when motivation fades. This next part separates dreamers from doers. Chapter 20. Your environment is your economy. You become what surrounds you, and what surrounds you silently shapes what you believe is possible. Look around. Who are your 5 closest people? What do they talk about? What do they normalize? Because that is your future. If they gossip, you'll gossip. If they complain, you'll complain. If they settle, you'll settle. Environment is not just where you live. It's what you feed your mind daily. If your surroundings don't challenge you, they're containing you. If your circle doesn't inspire you, it's not a circle. It's a cage. The poor choose comfort in company. The rich choose discomfort in elevation. They'd rather feel lonely chasing growth than feel accepted staying stagnant. They understand proximity is power, and power is contagious. If you hang around 5 focused people, you'll be the 6th. If you hang around 5 complainers, you'll be the 6th. The environment you tolerate determines the results you replicate. So ask yourself, are you around people who drain your drive, or people who demand your greatness? The people you listen to are either building your empire or burying your potential. Choose wisely, because the truth is, your environment will change you long before you ever change it. Chapter 21. Energy is everything. Money doesn't just follow strategy. It follows energy. Your energy introduces your mindset before you even speak, and your energy reveals your self-worth before your bank account ever does. The rich radiate ownership. The poor radiate victimhood. The rich walk into rooms asking, "How can I create more value here?" The poor walk in asking, "What can I get from this?" That's why money moves toward the rich, because their energy is built around creation, not consumption. The universe doesn't reward neediness. It rewards value. If you want to attract better opportunities, stop chasing. Start aligning. Money is not magic. It's movement. It flows where there is purpose, consistency, and momentum. If your energy is desperate, you repel it. If your energy is entitled, you block it. If your energy is grounded and grateful, you multiply it. The poor waste energy on envy. The rich invest energy in evolution. They don't gossip. They grow. They don't react. They recalibrate. They don't complain. They create. You can't manifest abundance with scarcity in your soul. Wealth isn't just numbers. It's frequency. And you rise to it by becoming calmer, clearer, and more certain in your value. The moment you stop chasing and start choosing, your energy changes, and your income follows. Chapter 22. The Law of Association. Here's a law that will change your life forever. You will never outperform the expectations of your peer group. If your friends expect mediocrity, you'll unconsciously shrink to fit their comfort zone. If they expect greatness, you'll stretch beyond your limits to match it. The poor bond through struggle. The rich bond through strategy. The poor connect through complaints. The rich connect through collaboration. That's why networking matters. Not the fake transactional kind, but the kind built on shared elevation. The right room can replace 5 years of frustration. One conversation can change everything. One mentor can shatter your ceiling. One opportunity can rewrite your story. But it only happens when you put yourself in rooms that demand growth. Stop clinging to people who make you feel seen in your excuses. Start surrounding yourself with people who make you feel uncomfortable in your limitations. That's not arrogance. It's alignment. You are not abandoning your past. You are upgrading your future. The truth is, your life expands at the speed of your associations. If you want to grow fast, get around people who make your current level feel like a warm-up. Subscribe and write in the comments which quote from our video you remember most. Chapter 23, The Mindset of Ownership. The broke mindset asks, what will someone else do for me? The rich mindset asks, what can I take responsibility for? Ownership is the ultimate wealth trait, because when you own your results, the good, the bad, the ugly, you regain power over your future. Victims blame, leaders build. Every excuse you make is a debt against your potential, and that debt compounds every day you avoid accountability. You can't change what you refuse to own. The poor outsource responsibility to fate, politics, or luck. The rich internalize it and take control of what they can. They don't waste energy on what's unfair. They focus on what's possible. They understand that complaining is emotional bankruptcy. And every complaint delays creation. Ownership means saying, yes, this is my fault. And that's exactly why I can fix it. When you adopt that mindset, everything changes. You stop waiting. You start building. You stop reacting. You start designing. The rich know that control begins where blame ends. The moment you take ownership, you exit victimhood and enter victory. Chapter 24. Your habits define your future. Wealth is built quietly, habit by habit, hour by hour. You don't wake up rich. You become rich through repeated patterns that compound over years. Habits are the invisible architecture of your destiny. Your morning decides your momentum. Your discipline decides your destiny. Your routine decides your results. The poor treat habits like suggestions. The rich treat habits like contracts with their future selves. Success isn't something you do once. It's something you become daily. You can't act poor in private and expect to be rich in public. If your habits are lazy, your results will be too. If your habits are precise, consistent, and intentional, your future will reflect that same energy. The secret is not motivation. It's maintenance. Because wealth is built by those who show up on the days they don't feel like it. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your standards, so raise them. Discipline is not restriction. It's respect for your potential. If you build small, powerful habits, reading, learning, saving, investing, creating, they will multiply quietly until one day you'll wake up and realize you've become exactly who you used to dream of being. In the next part, we'll go deeper into internal transformation, how to reprogram your subconscious beliefs about wealth, break emotional ties to scarcity, and align your mindset with long-term abundance. This next chapter isn't about money, it's about mental freedom. Chapter 25, Reprogramming Your Money Mind. You've been programmed since birth, not by choice, but by exposure. You were told that money is hard to make, that wanting more is selfish, that rich people are greedy, that stability is safer than success. And without realizing it, you absorb those beliefs like a sponge. Now, even when you try to rise, a part of you resists because it doesn't feel safe to win. That's the invisible war happening inside most people. Consciously, they want success. Subconsciously, they fear it. And until those two parts align, you'll keep spinning in the same place, working hard but sabotaging your progress in silence. The poor think the path to wealth is knowledge. The rich know it's reprogramming. Because you can't outwork a mindset that's wired to lose. So how do you change it? You start by challenging the beliefs you inherited. When you catch yourself saying, "I can't afford that," replace it with, "How can I afford that?" When you feel guilt for wanting more, remind yourself that desire is not greed. It's growth. When you hear that inner voice whisper, "You're not enough," answer back, "I'm just getting started." Repetition rewires reality. Every thought you entertain is an investment. So invest in beliefs that multiply your courage. Because money doesn't flow to fear, it flows to certainty. Write in the comments the topic or issue you would like to hear about in the next video. Chapter 26, The Subconscious Scarcity Loop. Scarcity isn't just a mindset, it's a pattern. It shows up in how you spend, how you speak, and how you think about opportunity. It sounds like, "I'll start when I have more money. I just need one lucky break. I'll save after my next raise." It's always waiting, never acting, always preparing, never producing. Scarcity convinces you that resources are limited, so you hoard, hesitate, and hold back. But here's the paradox. The more you hold on to what you have, the less room you leave for what's next. Abundance doesn't start with money. It starts with movement. You can't receive if your hands are clenched. You can't grow if you're gripping fear. The rich understand this deeply. They don't wait for perfect circumstances. They create opportunity through confidence and action. Scarcity says, "There's not enough." Abundance says, "There's always a way." And whichever voice you believe, that's the life you'll build. The poor spend to escape their reality. The rich spend to expand it. Scarcity keeps you trapped in survival mode. Abundance moves you toward creation mode. You are one mental shift away from transforming your financial trajectory. But that shift won't happen until you decide to stop living from fear and start living from faith in your ability to figure it out. Chapter 27, The Emotional Side of Money. Money is emotional. It's never just numbers. It's narrative. Every dollar you spend or save is tied to a feeling you're trying to create or escape. That's why most people struggle with wealth. They try to fix financial habits without fixing the emotional patterns behind them. They use spending to soothe stress. They use shopping to fill emptiness. They use money to buy validation. But you can't buy peace. You can only build it. Money doesn't heal emotional wounds. It amplifies them. If you're not okay without money, you won't be okay with it either. The rich understand that money is a mirror. It reflects your relationship with yourself. If you're disciplined internally, you'll manage it wisely. If you're impulsive, you'll lose it quickly. So before you ask for more money, ask yourself, can I emotionally handle more responsibility? Because money magnifies character. It reveals whether you are a master or a mess. The work of wealth begins inside. Heal your impatience. Heal your self-sabotage. Heal the part of you that feels undeserving. Because no strategy in the world can fix a soul that fears abundance. Chapter 28, The Wealth of Self-Worth. Your net worth will rarely exceed your self-worth. That's not motivational fluff. That's psychological fact. If deep down you feel unworthy of wealth, you'll unconsciously reject it every time it gets close. You'll undercharge for your value. You'll overgive to prove your worth. You'll self-sabotage when things go too well because this can't be real, and so you stay stuck. Money doesn't fix self-esteem, it only exposes it. The rich know this. That's why they invest in identity as much as income. They affirm their power daily. They build confidence through competence. They value themselves enough to demand more, not from others, but from themselves. The poor wait to feel worthy after success. The rich feel worthy before it, and that belief becomes the foundation for their success. You can't attract abundance from a place of shame. You must believe you are deserving, not because of what you own, but because of who you're becoming. Confidence is not arrogance, it's alignment. And when you align self-worth with self-discipline, wealth becomes inevitable. Because the world pays people who truly know what they're worth. Chapter 29, Mindset Before Millions. Everyone wants millions. Few are ready for the mindset required to manage them. That's why sudden wealth often ends in sudden loss. You can't pour abundance into a mind designed for survival. The rich don't just prepare financially. They prepare psychologically. They develop emotional endurance. They master patience. They stay calm under chaos. Wealth isn't built in bull markets. It's tested in bear ones. You can tell who will stay rich by how they handle uncertainty. The poor panic and pull back. The rich pivot and push forward. The poor say, "This is the end." The rich say, "This is the cycle." That's the difference. Perspective. You can't control the world, but you can control your response to it. And the richer your mindset, the less external chaos can shake your internal calm. Wealthy people build mental muscle. They know the game is long and emotions are expensive. So, before you chase millions, train your mind to hold them. Because if you can't manage small amounts with mastery, you won't manage large amounts with wisdom. In the next section, we'll explore the shift from survival to freedom. How to transition from working for money to making money work for you, and why true wealth is not about ownership, but about options. This is where we stop chasing and start choosing. Chapter 30, Escaping Survival Mode. Most people aren't poor because of money. They're poor because of mindset loops. They wake up, work, worry, and repeat. They survive every day but never design one. They think freedom is found in a higher salary. But that's just a fancier cage. The truth? Survival mode is the enemy of success. When your mind is always on bills, you can't build. When your focus is always on problems, you can't see possibilities. Survival keeps you reactive. Wealth requires you to be creative. As long as your energy is trapped in survival, your genius stays asleep. Your final wake-up call. If you've listened this far, you already know the truth. You're not stuck because of circumstance. You're stuck because of comfort. You know what to do, but you haven't done it yet. The life you want is not waiting for luck. It's waiting for you to make a decision. You can stay average, or you can start acting like the person your potential is begging you to become. Discipline yourself when no one's watching. Work in silence. Invest with intention. Protect your energy, and remember this. It's not that the rich are special. It's that they were relentless when everyone else relaxed. You have the same 24 hours, the same world, the same chances to choose differently. Every choice you make is a vote for the future you'll live in. So stop thinking poor. Stop waiting for permission. Stop hiding behind fear. Start today with what you have, because the moment you do, the universe will begin rearranging itself in your favor. You are one decision away from a completely different life. And if this message resonated with you, don't just feel inspired, act inspired, because talk changes nothing, action changes everything. So go, start building, start believing, start becoming the person who no longer just dreams, but does. Your time is now. This was Why You're Still Not Rich, the harsh truth about being broke, written in the voice and rhythm of Prime Writer 2025. If this message hit you deep, share it. Comment what truth woke you up, and tell us, what topic should we explore next? Your journey to freedom isn't over. It's just beginning.